Hi, I'm Whitney Evans.
Hey, I'm Daniel Evans.
And this is the Freedom Salon podcast. I have been in this industry for over 14 years. I own Whitney Evans Beauty here in Knoxville, Tennessee. My husband is also my business partner, is Daniel. And a little bit about you, Daniel.
Hello, yes. Daniel Evans, partner at Whitney Evans Beauty with my amazing wife, Whitney Evans. I also own a real estate investment company. But both of the companies that I work in involve marketing, and that's what I enjoy doing the most. And as we all know, beauty is a large part of marketing in today's world. So that's what I love to do with the salons.
Yes. So we were talking, weren't we, about like our goals for the podcast. Like, I know one of my main goals for this podcast is to help people in the salon industry and beyond. Like, you don't necessarily have to be a hairstylist to listen to us. It's really going to be about business. And what about you?
Yes, we specialize in the salon industry because we've owned a salon for going on 6 years. You've been in the industry for 14. Yep. So by God's grace, we ended up here, and we've seen just how much being a creative artist can change people's lives. And that's why we're here. We really want to be able to show people that if you're passionate about people and you're passionate about creativity and beauty, sky's the limit. So that's what we love.
Yes. I think one of our main goals too is like to teach people to have a freedom mindset, no matter like what they're doing, whether it be hair, whether it be a business owner, just to have real conversations about our industry and business. So it helps people to not feel alone in this journey, because it's been a crazy few years, especially with COVID and everything, and we're just so excited to like spread our knowledge and to help people and to have fun while doing it, because at the end of the day, if you're not having fun doing what you love, then it's hard to be successful.
100%.
So I want to ask you a few questions, Daniel, just so everybody can get to know you a little bit. Why the beauty industry? Because you're just the manliest man. Yeah. So tell me.
So we've talked about this a little bit, but if you would have told me in high school and in college, hey, you're going to end up having a career in the beauty industry, I'd have been like, there's no way. Because I had no knowledge, I had no interest, because obviously I kept a beard and then I'd shave my head. So I've come a long way.
I remember like whenever we first started dating and you had a shaved head, I'm like, you're going to have to grow your hair out and we're going to have to give you a real haircut because you cannot be seen with me with this shaved head.
Those were the days, my goodness. Shaved head for probably half of our marriage.
Yes.
So why beauty industry for me? One, I saw the passion that you had for it, understood your story, the challenges that you went through going from a traditional college degree to saying, hey, my passion's not here. My passion is in working with people. I've loved hair my entire life. I started doing makeup on my friends when I was 5 or 6. Like, those things really hit me even early on in our relationship, because I realized the inspiration and the passion behind that. So I really understood that that's what you love to do. Did I know that we would own a salon at that point? No. Did I know that we would be where at this point? No. But I knew that you cared about it and you loved it and you were my girl. You were going to, be my future wife at that point. So it was like, I'm all in. Let's make this a success. And I saw exactly at one time, it was like I could see the way that being a beautician, cosmetologist, stylist behind the chair was a lot more than just painting some color on somebody's hair. It was people going out into the marketplace, to their families, to their coworkers, and having an entire experience about an experience that they already had at the salon. So it was like, this could serve people. And that's something that I've always wanted to do ever since I was young, was find a vehicle to help serve people. And I think beauty does that. So that's kind of where I was at with
You've always been good about that. Like, help, really like building me up in this industry and always being like a supporter. And because I think that is a major thing as far as like being successful in the beauty industry as a whole, is having a support system from your family and your significant other, because you can have some challenging days, and it's good to always have like a hype man like you are all the time.
Life is definitely challenging sometimes.
Yes. I want you to tell everybody like how your marketing background has tied into how successful our salon has been.
Yeah. So I started working with a marketing agency out of Tennessee about 7 or 8 years ago, and started learning, the psychology of marketing, demographics, location targeting, all the different things that we kind of see and understand now, where back in the day you're kind of like, what, somebody's like able to like show me something based on like my interest, or someone knows what I'm interested in. Or so marketing really allowed me to understand just how much control you have to put your brand out into the world and kind of have an idea of who your customer can be. So when I understood that, I was like, man, we have a really good product. Like our standard is we want to serve people. We want to make people feel pretty. We want to listen to them and give them a product that they value. So marketing allowed me to understand how much we could grow. And then also in between that is how we could take other people along for the ride. So obviously Whitney Evans Beauty started out with a suite.
Yes. And we were a blog.
Yeah, we were a blog, and you were passionate about, again, showing people how to do their hair or how to use a product. So marketing is kind of secondary to passion. And then once you figure what that is, coming behind it, it's like, how much fuel do you want to put on it? How fast do you want to grow? How soon do you want to get there? So marketing for me was something that I was born to do. I just didn't know that until I kind of took the chance on doing marketing. Yeah. And now here we are. We're 5 years in, and it's been an awesome ride. To
clarify, like marketing, like what would you say would be like your biggest tool for it? Like Instagram or Facebook, or like what do you think is like the biggest driver for like success for a salon?
Definitely Facebook, definitely Instagram. The platforms have changed over the years.
Yeah.
Instagram, heck, 6 months ago is different. Now everything's changing probably at a 3 to 4 times rate that it was 5 or 6 years ago.
Yeah. But staying up to date on all the things.
Yeah,
like Reels.
It's powerful. I would tell people to always remember that, there's a high likelihood of 9 out of 10 people that you want to work with as a client are on social media. It's just a matter of what are they interested in and how can they connect with you. So Facebook, Instagram are, essentially no-brainers in the industry now.
Yeah.
And then the opportunity is how consistent and how authentic can you stay in the industry as a stylist. So absolutely Facebook and Instagram.
Yeah, I know that we really preach that to our team too, is to like really like post like what you love and what you want to attract to your audience and like the clients you want sitting in your chair. But we can do a whole other podcast on that.
100%.
So what is your favorite thing about being a salon owner, especially with you're not a stylist? So what's your favorite thing?
My favorite thing is to see people come in and have a skill set, have a passion for what they want to do, because obviously beauty industry isn't just color. It isn't just hair extensions. It isn't just updos and wetting hair and all these things. So everybody has this is what I love. And then helping them build a strategy out of what that looks like in a year, what that looks like in 2 years, what that looks like in 3 years. Because what we do as stylists, and I say we because obviously I'm not doing hair, but I've been a part of that process and the goal setting and stuff, is how that can be a tool to give you freedom in life. And that's why we started the podcast, was how do I take what I'm skilled at? How do I take what I'm going to do every day passionately and turn it into a tool to create a lifestyle for myself? So that's what I love to do. That's what drives me. That's what allows me to be passionate about working on Sunday and Saturday and 11 p.m. at night or 1 a.m. in the morning. Like I like to see people get what they want out of life and be a partner along the way for that.
Yeah, it's definitely been a wild ride.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like
excited to serve a lot more
together.
People.
Yes. If you could do anything in this world, what would you be doing right now? Or would you be doing exactly what we're doing?
It's a great question. Enhance and do more of what we've started and are doing. I would love to help hundreds, if not thousands, of people in the beauty industry. Knoxville is where we've been at for a long time, so we've been able to work directly with people that are in the salon. I would love a girl or a guy in Michigan to hear this and be like, man, I never thought about it that way. Like,
I know, that'd be awesome.
Wow. Like, and some people get early to it where they're like, oh, I heard that before I started beauty school, or I've been doing hair, or I've been doing this for 6 years. Being able to just serve more people in a way that's life changing, because I know people have served me that have never met me.
Yeah.
I heard their podcast. They spoke to me, and then I changed something in my life. And then 2 years later, I look back, I'm like, man, I wouldn't have done that if I wouldn't have heard that. So just enhancing and improving my power to serve people through my story and our story and what we can do. So serve people, number one.
Yep. That's
Absolutely.
awesome.
Yeah.
I think that you, especially working alongside you, you're like the sweetest and most caring person, aside from being my husband, but just for our team, like you really want everyone to succeed. And I think that's why we both love doing what we do, just because, I mean, there's nothing more rewarding than to like help somebody and see them grow too.
Absolutely.
This podcast is brought to you by the Beauty and Style Network, the home of everything beautiful and stylish. And now back to the podcast.
Question.
Uh-huh.
Got a few.
Okay.
So question that I have for you would be, tell me about your story as a stylist, of how it started.
Yeah. So in the winter of 2006, 2007, I was at UT. I wasn't super happy with what I was doing. It was time to get serious. It was time to pick a major. I actually came to Tennessee School of Beauty to get an eyebrow wax by a girl I went to high school with. I was here. I walked in and I felt at home. And I was like, I love hair. I love makeup. I was in a sorority at the time. And like, that's what I was doing every weekend. And I was like, why can't I make a career out of this? So I went home for Christmas break, talked to my mom, and was like, I really want to go to beauty school. And to my surprise, she was very supportive, withdrew from UT. And then like that February, I started beauty school. So in beauty school, loved it. TSB is the best. Like, I had a great education. Started working as a receptionist at a salon towards the end of beauty school and ended up being a stylist there first. I was an associate. I was an assistant for the owner of the salon. He was amazing, taught me like the basics. I got a lot of great work experience until like I felt, I had a lot of life changes during that time. And so I ended up actually like leaving there, working at a salon closer to where I'm from in Knoxville. And that's really, I think, where I really built my clientele and started growing, because in that salon, I worked for your aunt. Do you remember? This is when we started dating too.
Oh, yeah.
And my network of people just grew, so my clientele grew.
Yes.
I guess. And then we, just started building a life. And was with that salon for over 5 years. Like, we got married when I was still working there.
Oh, yeah.
I like joked, like I call it like the golden years. It was just like, building our lives and buying our first home and all the things during that time. And really working on weddings during that time. That was a huge part of my business. I love doing weddings. And I think too, like the phase in our life, like all of our friends were getting married. So of course they had me do their hair, right. That was just like the thing to do. And then you started working in marketing and really gave me the push to go out on my own and to try like the blog world, because I'd started a YouTube channel. Whitney Evans Beauty was originally a YouTube channel, which is so crazy when I tell people. Yeah. Don't you remember like us making like the thing and figuring out how to do the channel and do all the things? I know you were right there helping me.
Every bit of it.
Yes.
It's crazy to think about now because I haven't been thinking about it in quite some time. But
no.
The whole process was like so new.
Yes, it
so
was.
Weird.
And it was so weird. Like, I remember I even had some people in my circle at that time was like, what are you doing? Like, this is so weird, know?
I think your identity had became beauty.
Yeah.
And you were starting to realize like, that's what it was. Like, everybody was like, when they heard Whitney, they thought beauty, they thought hair, they thought makeup, they thought wedding. So that's what really allowed me to see like the potential.
Yes. Yeah. And so we started these little YouTube videos and my little website and my blog and just ran with it. And so we ended up renting a suite, and that was the original home of Whitney Evans Beauty. It was literally next to this like laundromat that people would stand outside and be crazy.
No outdoor lighting.
No outdoor lighting, no parking.
It was crazy.
It was wild. We moved downtown, and it was like grinding during that time.
Those days were crazy, but now looking back, it was what built us. It was amazing.
Yeah.
And especially built the salon and the amazing team that we have now. So
I know it was pretty much me. I did towels. I was the receptionist. I was the janitor.
Yeah, the ultimate practitioner.
Yes, absolutely. And then by the grace of God, one of my clients at the time was a photographer. She knew of a commercial space next to her. And then you gave me the blessing to pursue that. So then we could start the salon and grow it. So we got our first commercial space and then added one stylist. And then 6 years later, we just keep adding stylists.
I love it. It's been amazing.
It has been.
Yeah, talking about that leads me to my next question, which I think we covered some of that, but really to hone in on like the reason why creating Whitney Evans Beauty. When did you go from, okay, this is bigger than me, this is bigger than a blog, this is bigger than just me in this little suite?
Yeah.
What happened?
I think it was more of just like I was blessed with a large influx of clientele because what you had taught me, especially like on social media and like the people we surrounded ourselves with at the time, like business wise, really like taught me to like broaden my mind to where to really put myself out there. And so it was like attracting all these clientele, and I'm only one person. Yeah. And I was smart enough to be like, okay, like I can't do all of this. Like I need someone to help. This will be great for someone that is wanting to build their clientele. Like, this could be a thing, like this could be a business. Like it's so funny because I know when I first like started the blog and started everything, like my famous last words were like, I do not want to be a salon owner. Oh, yeah. And I remember you being like, Whit, you need to do this. You need to open a salon. And I was like, that sounds terrible. I never want to do that. Yeah. And then here we are. It's like, I love that more than anything now. It's crazy how life works. But I think that was the moment of just having this influx of work and, wanting a partner that was a stylist or, a team that I could help influence and grow their clientele and us just like have fun and do hair all day and create this like amazing environment for stylists.
100%. Culture has always been a focus of yours. Because you're always in the salon more than I am. I'm there when I can be. So it's...
Well, and like the salon industry was changing so much. There was so much opportunity to be had with like the birth of Instagram and just like videos as a whole. Like when I first started doing hair, like the only way we could get clients is if we, worked at a salon that fed them to us, or we would like literally hand out our cards when we went out to eat, or like there was no way to really like put your work in front of a whole like hundreds of people like there is at Instagram. Like I tell all the girls at the salon all the time, like, and even when we come and talk to the beauty school, like this is the best time in the world to be in the beauty industry. Like you have so much opportunity at your footsteps, even now with like TikTok and Reels, and it's so exciting. I'm just excited.
If you love what you do and you have a voice in the creative side, it's incredible. Like there's no end. It's just, who do you want to be? How fast do you want to get there? It's amazing.
Yes.
I love that.
Yeah.
So as an owner, I know your mind shifted because you were always like, let's slay, let's do hair 6-7 days a week. Yes. Like, and I know you went through a period of time where it was hard for you to pull away from the chair.
Oh, yes.
But the salon had grown to where it was like you needed to more work on the business.
Yes.
And in the business.
I think that there was always like a moment of struggle before something really awesome happened. Mm-hmm. And I know like in the beginning, I mean, there was times I worked like 21 days straight because I like didn't want to say no to anything. I was so excited for all this opportunity. And I know you remember, and you were awesome as my spouse to be supportive of that, because I know that was really hard. I was never around. There was photo shoots on Sundays. There was a wedding on Saturdays, regular hair during the week. Like there was just always something to do. And like it got to a point to where it was hard for me to focus on the direction that the business was going. And it really took me getting pregnant with our son for me to realize, okay, hold on. Like, you know, the world's not going to crumble if I don't have my hands in everything. Like, I've built this amazing team of people that are more than capable of taking on these other tasks. Like, I had to almost get out of my own way in order for like the salon to grow like it has.
No doubt. Well, it's change. It's like what got you here won't get you there.
Yes.
But you're like, well, what got me here has worked.
Yeah.
So like, and I struggle with that in my business as well too. And it's always like having that person that's close to you that you know loves you, kind of giving you the, listen, you told me this one time, it's time for me to tell you. And it's like having that feedback that just gets you over that edge, because sometimes it's difficult because you're like, I'm on the edge again. I'm on the edge again. So that's powerful.
It was crazy. But good.
It's been amazing.
Yeah.
And then last question, as a salon owner, and as a team, you know, member of the entire team, because we always like to talk about at the salon, it's not that you're the owner, but they're creators, and creators are more important than owners. Owners are just kind of who saw the, you know, the opportunity, and then everybody, it's a level playing field. We're a team. We do this together. You know, we're a unit. So what would you say is one of the biggest takeaways that you realize now as the creator of Whitney Evans Beauty with other creators of beauty and just confidence and things as stylists get to do with their clients? What do you think is the biggest takeaway that you've had that you would want to put out into the world and say, if you know, here's what I realize, here's what can change the game if you shift your mind into this place?
I think it's really like having gratitude for what you're doing for someone. I've especially seen with my young stylists, they get so caught up in the technical skills of hair, which are super important, but how you make somebody feel at the end of the day, like the end of the appointment, and how you speak to them as a human being goes so much further in this industry than your technical skills. Technical skills are so important. I totally get that. You have to, you know, work on them, but they can always be worked on. They can always grow. You can always practice that. But like learning how to connect with people is the key to being successful and to have fun. I think too, like, you know, on the flip side, I think the downside of all the social media, of all the Instagram, of all the videos is we have like perfectionist tendencies, you know, like this has to be absolutely perfect. I'm not going to post that because that's trash, or no one will like that. Or, you know, you get in your own head and you're worried about, you know, being yourself or putting out content. And I think it's just to have fun and to be a light in the world, to be a light, you know, in the industry for your clients, you know, especially, you know, year 2020 and then this past year, 2021, like we've all had a hard time. Everyone's had a hard time. Your clients don't want to come into your chair and then to feel bad. Like, I think the key is to just help them feel the best they can feel.
Serve.
Yeah, to serve them. I mean, we are the service industry. You know, it isn't about us. It's about them. They're who pay our bills. They're who, you know, support us, who allow us to create businesses and to do all this. So they are number one.
Yep. And for me, the most successful stylists I've ever seen, and we've seen a few now, those that love on others the best succeed the most. I mean, that's what it's about. Care about people. Make sure that you do care about people before you join.
I feel like that's the thing. Like if you're like on the fence, like I kind of want to be in the beauty industry, but I'm not for sure. But if you're the type of person that like, you know, cringe at the thought of like talking to someone, maybe you should rethink that situation, because that's really the people I've seen that have really built a career quicker and at ease and have a lot of longevity in this field are people like that love people, I guess.
100%. 100%. Thank you. That was more than I thought we would get out of that question. So that was powerful. Thank you so much.
Yes, it's good. Thank you all so much for listening this far. We're so excited to get into more detail of everything we've talked to today. We have more episodes coming. Be sure to follow our podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube.